There we go. I got my screens all set up and go. Let's go ahead and get started. As always, get to your Flex connection if the new people coming in. We have great questions that are always coming in. I found some this morning. I'm going to actually address a couple of those this morning because I think they're overarching issues that keep coming in. So I'm going to go in and address some issues here. But this is a great place to get your questions pushed to the community because this is how you get the front line of all of your customer support comes right here, the product. We have incredible moderators that have been, using this product from the day that it first came out. And they've learned how to do things that we have never thought of doing with this product, but also they just are so good at teaching people how to do it. So make sure you're getting people that are coming in, both customers and brand influencers, into the Flex Connection, and so that they can actually be a part of a community that can help them grow, both with the community of AI and also with Flex, the business. This week, we have an update on corporate update call. It's at 8 o'clock Central Time on Monday. This is something that you should just kind of put in. You can listen to it anywhere. You don't have to be on a Zoom. You literally can just listen on your phone. There's a dial-in number. And you can go and you can hear all the updates, if there's any new promos, any big announcements, things that happened last week, and then also things that are happening this week. It's also important to get your teams here because this is where we do recognition, and we love to recognize people. And it's always great when you have someone show up and they don't expect their name to come out, and yet you're recognizing them and giving them some words or credits because they are just doing the right things throughout their building of the business. And I love to give those out to people who just don't even realize they're doing something special, but they're just consistent in what they do, and we watch that. And so that's big announcements maybe on this Friday, or I'm sorry, on this Monday night's call, also regarding the launch of Canvas Plus. Okay, we're going to go into a few things here in Flexology today. We're going to get back to the music, by the way. We're going to have a lot of music, and we're having a lot of ways of talking about the way that you guys are doing the music. We're going to talk about the way that you're going to be able to do a video and bring that video out to the social media platforms everywhere, and this will help grow your business as well. But at the beginning today, we're going to dive into INTELLICHAT. Now, I'm going to actually walk through in the actual platforms today about all the things that you're able to do with INTELLICHAT, because I don't think a lot of people truly understand the power that is sitting inside of INTELLICHAT. They understand that it's got a bunch of different LLMs in it, and they understand that it's cool because you can switch between all of them, and they're all kind of tied together. But they don't really understand necessarily everything that it can do. And so I want to go through a lot of that today and why it is so different than any of the other platforms out there, why INTELLICHAT is one of our patent pending applications sitting inside of RUBI, and why that is different than other things that are out there. And so let's kind of dive into that first. I'm going to start with a screen, and then we're going to go talk about that screen. These are screens that are going to be in your new deck. So when you're doing your presentations, these are screens that will come from your deck, and I want to break them down and let you understand why they're important and how you can go about pitching them. But then you're really going to be learning how to use INTELLICHAT at its greatest levels. Now, the best way to learn something is to teach it. When you learn to teach something, you are having to force yourself to learn it, but you're also spending time to go down deeper into what it is because you're thinking of questions that other people are going to ask, or if, oh, I didn't think about how I would do that. So this is all a great process. So when you think about teaching other people to use it, this is how you learn it the fastest possible way. So let's kind of break down the first thing. We're so much more than just chat. We've organized all the world's largest LLMs. Now, when we release Canvas Plus, you're going to see two more in here. That's Llama 3.1. All right, 3.1. It just came out. It's coming out with Canvas Plus. and perplexity, which is another way of just them processing how a prompt is actually managed. It's just another LLM out there. And you will have the options to do all of these just like you do now. They're just 2 more that are coming in. And each one of these has a strength or a purpose for being here. It's not like, oh, we're just trying to put everything out there to get numbers. Actually, we want to limit the number and just bring the best ones there because it's easier. So when you talk about each of these and why they have a specific reason, there is a learn more inside of the model. I'm going to switch over to my screen here, Corey. Pop this over. See if I can get the right screen the first time here. Let's see. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I have to push it up to the. There we go. So when you're looking at the models, you'll see that there's a learn more here. And this learn more will actually start to talk you through each of these different models. Why is it there? Why is it important? Why should you use them? What they're good for doing certain things with. These are all going to help kind of guide you as to what it is that you're going to be doing. Now, there is a change that's coming on Monday. So we were going to make the deployment yesterday. We decided not to do it on a Friday, but we're going to do it on Monday. And you're going to see a couple of new ones in here. GPT 3.5 no longer will be available. Why? We're replacing it with another free usage LLM. And it's Chat GPT 4 Omni Mini. And it also is vision enabled. And we're going to talk about vision enabling here in just a minute and what that means. But when you see GPT 4.0 as far as Mini goes, this is a very fast and powerful version of GPT 4 that we can now offer free. Okay, so you get unlimited uses with GPT 4 Omni Mini, and it's faster. It's much more current and better at processing than GPT 3.5 Turbo. So this is an upgrade that's already coming out and will be there on Monday. Now we're going to use that here in just a minute. But there also is different reasonings for the usage. And you'll see the usage on the 3 times words used for Opus. You'll see 1x words and you'll see unlimited. This is just because of the amount of data that you're getting and the better responses that you're getting. And 3 Opus is the best for really deep questions, things that you really want to know a lot about the information that's out there. That's going to be your best one, and it costs a little bit more. But I will tell you guys that no matter what plan that you're on, whether you're at the $20 basic plan or you're coming up at the $100 on the Premium Plus, you will have enough words to do pretty much everything that you could possibly want to do by having the unlimiteds. And then only using these that are charging when you want to get that next level. Like if you're not getting the best results from, GPT-4 Omni or from the Haiku or Claude Instant or from Google Gemini, you will then have to be able to go and use the other ones. But it's so minor, guys. Like all of our plans, even at 10,000 words, is a lot of words if you're doing social media or maybe a blog. Now, if you're doing a lot of content, that's not what Basic was designed to do to begin with. It was designed to get you started, to kind of see and play around and see if that's for you. But when you start getting into your Pro and Premium and your Premium Plus, that's where you're going to find the content, the word amounts, and the credit amounts to really get you moving. So there's a difference between all of the different LLMs. Corey, is there a, never mind. I'm just going to have to do it back and forth because we didn't get there. I'll try to get these done a little earlier so we can do some of this. I've got to keep bouncing back and forth between my screens here. Okay. So let's talk now about the free. We kind of just hit on that. We have these GPT 4.0 Omni, Haiku, Instant, and Gemini. There is also going to be a free Llama. Okay, so when we talk about our free is vast, it means that you literally could do literally anything that you could possibly want to do without ever having a subscription to any of these other platforms and have unlimited use on it. You can do that at $20 a month. So what you pay to have on GPT-4, you can actually have all of the LLMs in all the different platforms along with GPT-4 Omni Mini, all at unlimited usage for $20. That's not counting all the other things that obviously are inside of Ruby. So there's two very specific things that are happening inside of IntelliChat that extends out its capabilities. And these are where I want to focus a lot on this morning. This is where you start to really understand the power that can happen with IntelliChat. Now, if you're not familiar with anchoring, anchoring is a way that you can get trusted content. You know, there's a lot of great things in the world about AI, but you do have hallucinations. And what that means is that there are really things that sound really, really, really good, and they're just not true. But they sound great. And if you're not careful, you'll start putting false stuff out because it sounds good. And that's why we always say that responsible AI is a major part of where we need to be looking at AI, not now, not just now, but now and in the future. I thought it was interesting this weekend, and I get ADD stuff all the time, and Corey knows that better than anybody, but I have these little things that just pop in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I need to say that right now. But I want to say something right now because I think it's really true, and this is one of the things that's so important when we're talking about AI and we're sharing it with other people, and it really clicked this week when Chris Booth and I were doing a presentation in an event for realtors. And what it was all the things that you can do with AI that are really specific to realty, to realty. And so we were the last ones to go, but there were a bunch of different AI platforms that were ahead of us that were kind of sharing what they can do for realtors. Whether it's, I can do a conversation, I can learn to make my pitch. Whether it was, I can now have a bot that does all my calls and does all my follow-ups, and I can do a text and email, and bots do all of that for me, and I don't have to touch it. And it just occurred to me when we're seeing all of these little niche products, and it's not so much that they're niche products, that it was like a niche product that was a one-button click. Like I click one button and it does everything. And it just occurs to me that this is exactly the problem that everyone's going to run into in the next 6 months to a year. And here's the problem. A year ago, people who were using AI were making these drastic steps away from those that didn't. You see it in our presentations when we talk about Gary Vee or Mark Cuban. If you're not using AI in your business, you're going to fail. If you're not using it every day, you're going to get left behind. Like these are the things from a year ago. And what you saw was this: people who used AI and the people who didn't had this massive gap because it's 20 to 30 times more productive and effective with it than without it. Today, about 50% of people in the United States, I don't know what it is around the world, but here in the United States, are using AI in some way, shape, or form every day. Now, that was compared to like 5% a year ago. That's how fast adoption is happening in the world of technology, and everything else is coming with AI. It's undeniable that you have to be on AI in some way, shape, or form. Why wouldn't you be a part of something that's helping you do better? So what you see then is now everybody's coming in and saying, okay, I want to make it super easy. I want you to be able to click a button and get everything, and it's just one little niche. And pretty soon you have that 20 different subscriptions again, and you have one button that's doing everything for you, which is great, except for when everybody has the same little thing that pushes a button and they all have the exact same thing coming out. How does that separate you again from the pack? And so when you're looking at marketing, especially doing a business or something like that, you don't want to do it every single person's doing, because then you're right back to where you were before. That's why when you say AI does good content, The AI in you makes great content. This is truly what will separate you from those people who are using AI without themselves being injected into the output. And so why is INTELLICHAT important to know? Because let's just talk about Ruby in general. Why is it important to know? It's because everything that these one push button, niche products do out there are built on the things and the tools that are inside of Ruby that you learn to use and input yourself in. So when you think about, I want to go and find, I'll use an example for one that we've used. There is a year ago, they were the hottest AI product in marketing when it came to creating your social media posts and all that stuff. It was expensive. It was like $150 a month to start. You go up to $1,000 a month. And what it could do is it could go in, you put in, use the AI to write your CTA, your headline, your post, your body, and then you can put an image on it. And if you hit a button, it gave you like 100 different variations of a post that you could choose, and you could push that then to your social media. And every single thing that it created looked like a cookie cutter. Like everything looked the same. Yeah, it had a little different this and a little bit different that, but if I looked at that one and then I looked at a different company one that we did, they looked exactly the same. So if everything in this world of niche marketing that has a one button click, all is creating the same basic formats, using the same type of voices, using the same type of logic to respond, then everybody again starts to sound the same. And what you have inside of Ruby is a way to inject yourself. And when you inject yourself, you take a step above and beyond what the one button push is doing, because it can't think like you. So it's important to understand there's a big difference between this. And this is where we can start to really start pulling yourself apart from what everybody else is going to be doing in the future. The cream rises to the top. You hear this saying all the time. Here's the great news. Sometimes the cream gets to the top just because people churned it the most. People used it the most. They committed into it the most, and they did a little bit more to get a little bit more. And that's what I hope that we have with Ruby, is that people can understand, okay, how do I use the tool that did the one button push? And how do I make it so it's super special to me, my clients, my brand, my business, my services, whatever it is that you're using, my communications, so that I stand out, so that my content goes a step beyond? How do I get my music to make an impact? I'm injecting myself into it. All these incredible things that you are able to do if you just commit to learning a few tools. And here's the thing that's really great. As deep and as complicated, I can walk in to tell you all about RAG and all about how it works and how anchoring is tied to RAG and how it's our version of RAG inside of Ruby. And at the end of the day, no one really needs to know RAG. What they need to know, how do I get the best content with a few clicks? And then how do I inject myself into that? And that's what we're going to talk about here inside of this. And I'm sorry if I get off my little tangent, but these are important things for you to understand, so that you understand there's a point to why we're not one button clicking everything. I mean, think about what it is that we have inside of Ruby. We literally have every tool that is ever used on every one button click bot that's out there. We actually have every tool that you could ever want to do to create any of them. And yes, we will make life easier for certain things, but I'm not a big proponent of a one button click. Like I saw one the other day, and it's a video thing, and you kind of put in a little bit and it does a button, you click a button, and wow, and 5 minutes, you got a video that's 15 to 20 seconds long, and it's cut, and it's got the audio, and it's got everything in it, and it's got all these stock images and things that are created from it. And we did it, and it was like, okay, I wouldn't use it for my brand just because it's still pretty low quality stuff. So then we did another one and it looked almost exactly the same. You can't separate yourself by just doing quantity. You got to separate yourself from doing quality with quantity. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about anchoring and trusted URLs and why it's so important to be able to dig deep into what you want to create and how you want to get that great information coming. So let's just talk about a little bit about getting around in INTELLICHAT. So the first time you get in INTELLICHAT, you obviously can create new chats. Okay, just by hitting a new button, you're going to create a new chat. Your old chats are all going to go into the history that are found in our drawer over here to the right. So if you're just now new to seeing this, you'll see this little drawer. This drawer is pulling out. You've got history in there. You have anchoring, which we're going to deal with here in a second. You have all your prompts, your saved prompts are there, both by favorites and by saved. And then we have our editor, and our editor is allowing us to create any kind of document that we want, or to restructure, or to hold information so that we can use that later in other prompts, right? This is allowing us to not have to have a word processor that's out on the side, or open up my notes and push them over there and then copy and paste them back in, and I can use this stuff a lot easier. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing. Obviously, we have our models. We have our modules, and by the way, this is in my dev too, so I don't have all the modules here. I can actually we'll go through and switch back and forth between our production and our dev 2 that's coming on Monday. And, you know, all the different models are here and you can choose them. And then of course the modules, it brings up all the modules that we have. Now we have 150 different modules that you can use to go out and do things with. You can sort these, okay? If you want to do something with SEO, just put in SEO, it'll pull up everything within the SEO. You can search them very quickly there. You can also use our collections. Our collections are ways that you can go in and find things that deal with a specific topic. So I might want to do my hashtag generators or my meta descriptions or something like that. So I can go and do that. I can also go into different things that were very specific, like the C2C digital. This is all the things that you really need to go and create great marketing pieces, and they're all in this one place. And one of the things that's really interesting, I think that you'll find, is that all of these will be the things that you probably will use the most to create your lead magnets and all the things that you want to do on your front end to kind of bring someone through a funnel. All these things, you can play around with these, use them, play with them. You have the free chat. And by the way, when you're using a free chat, like I went up to GPT-3.5, I can use all of these modules. It doesn't cost me anything. It's not even going against my word bank. Okay, so you can go and play around with these and figure out all what they do, figure out the ones that might have interest to you, and you don't have to use your paying usage. Go find the ones that are free and use them, because whatever's chosen here is what's going to be used to create your model, or use the models can be used for your modules. You have your personas, and we all talk all about personas, but one of the things I really think is important to understand is that you can see exactly what it is that you're looking at when you select a persona and you're using a persona to write your content, and when you don't. So let's say that I wanted to come in here, and I use this one, Oakwood Hills homeowner. We actually used this for the realty the other day that we were doing the realtor event. And what was great is I created this based on a home. Okay, so I actually put in the description of the house in Personify, and I created what a homeowner would look like that would buy this house. See, Personify, and by the way, and personas in general, don't have to be a person, place, or a brand or a service or a product. You can go and create personas around who the potential buyer is of the target audience, and I can figure that out through Personify by putting in details about the product, service, and who would be able to use these the best. So I'm giving a little bit of a lead into Personify. So now I have my realtor that actually would buy this house because it meets all that stuff. But what's really important when you look at Personify, by the way, and you're looking at this specific persona, I really only care about these things right here at the moment. I care about the motivations. What is it that makes them want to buy this house at this place? And what are the pain points? Finding the right neighborhood. It's hard to do. Maintaining a welcoming home, balancing work and family life. That means it's important. And so when it's looking at the pain points and then it's looking at, okay, what are the motivation? They want a comfortable home. They want to build a sense of community. That means they're probably entertaining a lot. Those like creating lasting memories. It's all about bringing family in, right? These are the things that if you have that built in when you're creating the content in INTELLICHAT, it's going to be smacking right down on those pain points. Now, how do you go and get that information that's super important to put and interject in everything that you're doing and then get the trusted information around it? Well, a couple of ways to do that is anchoring. Anchoring allows you to go and find a very specific website or a very specific document that can be a text or PDF file. And it's only going to be using those two sources or one of those sources to actually put your content together. I always talk about anchoring dealing with a product or service or something like that, but it also might be a form that was filled out online. Maybe the person who's looking at this house is filling out a form about things that they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for a realtor and they are asking, here are the key points of things I'm looking for in a realtor. You can put that in and anchor that file and then have it write you the response based upon that one specific thing. You can also paste it in here, right? You can, if it's short, you can paste it into your chat and say, okay, use this information to do this. But if I'm going to do a lot of stuff off of that, I'm just gonna anchor it. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do everything on this. I'm gonna do it on a commercial real estate purchase agreement. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this now. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna say, summarize the agreement and show me areas of concern. Now, again, it's not going out and looking at anything else. It's looking at that very specific agreement. Now, you can see that in this agreement, I've got Chris Booth's name in there. I've got the house price. I've got everything in there that I'm going to be looking for. And I can go in and see where it's telling me areas of concern. Several key dates are missing, including the closing date and inspection dates. All right. This can happen on anything that is a PDF or a text document. Guys, you can go deep, deep, deep. Talk about trying to organize something or to go and find pitching points. Maybe it's like create a concise sales pitch to Chris Booth for the reasoning to buy this house. Okay, we're not talking about typing here. So that's going to go and create a way for me to go and talk about it, right? So if you don't know how to say things, maybe it's just about kind of wrapping around the structure that you want to use to respond to somebody. You can do that with a simple prompt. It doesn't have to be even spelled right, right? So you can, now one thing that's really interesting is that I could actually now throw this in with a Oakwood. I'm going to use a friendly tone. I'm going to use family oriented as my tone and friendly as my voice. And I want to do the exact same thing here, right? So I'm going to bring this back. And I want to actually now inject the Oakwood Homes homeowner built into the sales pitch. Because now I want it to be saying, hey, what are the most important things that this person is going to need? Well, they need to be family-minded investors like yourself, right? Possibilities of thriving business. Okay, now, one of the things that's interesting about this is that this is a commercial, right? Commercial real estate, and it appears a homeowner, so it's a what's the word I'm looking for? A personal home. I don't know. It's crazy. Residential. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, residential talking about a contract that's in there. So it's a little bit awkward, right? But you'd be able to see the same thing. Like at just 3.9% interest, it's going to be attractive for a family-minded investor like you. It's going to be wrapping those tones around what it's important, like, okay, access to local schools, parks, and family-friendly amenities. These are going to be important pieces to that, and it wouldn't happen if I didn't have the Oakwood in it, right? You don't see any of that in here. You only see it when we put the persona in it. Now, if I wanted to go down and I'm going to do a new chat, so we start a new conversation. By the way, when using IntelliChat, or as you do with any conversational chat, if you're jumping around from topic to topic to topic inside the same conversation, it would be like having the same phone call with all these different people in there, and you're jumping from topic to topic to topic to topic, and then you ask somebody a question that's like relative to all of them, and they're confused. Well, that's the same thing that's happening in a conversation. If you jump from topic to topic and they don't have anything to relate with each other, they don't know how to respond either. So make sure you keep yourself organized in your conversation. So start a new chat when you are doing something new and having a different topic so that you're staying in that conversation the right way. Now, I might want to go and I might want to use a URL. And I'm going to do Athletic Greens. I don't even know if it's called Athletic Greens. Is it called Athletic Greens, Corey, or is it A1?
I can't remember.
Drinkag.com. Okay, drinkag.com. I'm going to use that. So drinkag.com. So I'm going to use this, and I want to pull now all the information just specifically from this one website. Now, this can be a competitive research. This could be for me to find a target audience that they're struggling for. I don't want to have any kind of persona set on it, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm just going to come in here and say, summarize the site and create the persona based on content. Okay, so I'm going to have it go and just go to the website. It's pulling down and scraping that site, and it's going to give me all this information. Now, look how fast it's grabbing that information. Okay, number one, I'm going out to their site, I'm scraping their website, I'm pulling in their information, and I'm processing that information. And so here's like a way, based on the provided content, here's a summary of the site. Support gut health, boost energy, focus, enhance. Okay, so it's right on to what a greenish product is going to do. And as a persona, is going to create me a persona. Now, there's a big difference between the way that this persona will be created and the way that we're going to get it out of Personify. But this is a great way for you to compare the two. Super simple, right? And now I have it, and this would be similar to if I took drinkag.com and I put it into Personify in the URL. I'm going to get the same content, but it's going to give me a lot more information in Personify, and it's going to be more detailed on trends. Okay, so now I have it, and I know kind of what they're talking to, who they're talking to, what they're talking about. And now I might want to come up here, and now that I'm already anchored up here, I'm going to say something along the lines of create a social media post for I'm going to call migraines for migraines based on the competitive basis that migraines is only $29 per month based on the site. So now I'm kind of guiding it a little bit more into what it is, but now I'm going to have it go in and take the information that's from the website and show me where I can go and compete with it. Number one, I'm not doing anything. It's just why compromise your health when you can have it all for just $29 a month. So I'm getting all the benefits of what actually greens do. Again, I never told it what my product did. I'm just saying it's comparative to this product. And then you can feel the difference. It's selling it to them, right? Delivers the same benefits as premium greens powders without the premium price tag. Guys, this is the first part of a way that you can start to really hone in on stuff, and you can use RAG, or what we call anchoring, inside of Ruby to bring all this information to you as you are starting to go out and build your business. Okay, so this is anchoring. Now, I'm not going to go back and switch between the slides because it's just too much time to do that, but I'm going to actually talk about another key part of IntelliChat. And one of the things when you look at our models, you'll see that we have anchoring enabled, and we also have vision enabled. So if you aren't familiar with vision, the way that vision works is you select one of those that has vision enabling, like, okay, so Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Again, it's my favorite, it's my default. If you click the little button off to the left over here, what that's going to do is going to allow me to upload images either from those that are inside of my asset manager. Okay, so I can go find the images that I have inside my asset manager. I'm going to use this one. Okay, you can see it's loaded in, and I can proceed to vision. Now I can go ask it questions regarding this image. Now, I don't need to have anchoring turned on because I'm not going to be doing anything with drink AG1. I'm just going to be dealing with what's actually right here inside a vision. And this is what's crazy, guys. You can do this with documents, anything that it can read. Okay, so think about if you have a book page, if you have your P&L and balance sheets, you have all your corporate documents, maybe you have pictures and images of a contract. You can upload those as images here if they're not in a PDF. If you have it in a PDF, you're just going to anchor it. But here, I just want to look at. I want to say describe in detail and use creative writing to generate this response. Okay. Now, I don't have to tell it to look at the image or anything like that. I'm just telling it to do it. Now, when I hit the button, it's going to go and read the image, and then it's going to come back and give me the information about that image. Now, again, it can be text document. It could be literally any kind of document that you want to update up there. It will be able to read that and bring it back to you. It's usually a lot faster than this too. I don't know why it's taking a little time. Okay. Not that difficult. Let's do something here. Curious to see this image. Image is confusing because it's a mid-journey line. That's an issue. I need to make a note of that, Corey, so that we can deal with that because it doesn't understand what to do with 4 different images. Okay, so the image captures a heartwarming moment of pure joy and connection between 2 young children at the beach. Their radiant smiles and their sparkling eyes reflect the carefree bliss of childhood and their math. You can see that it's giving me this creative description of what it is. Now, you can ask it anything about any subject that you push up there. Maybe it's a slide, okay, and you want to maybe ask it to make your slides easier to communicate. Maybe it's a way that you can get your financial forecast. I've done this with SKUs, like where a company had thousands of SKUs, and it literally could find in just seconds where those SKUs are going down in sales, where others are going up. Something super important to know if you're a business owner. And it did it in seconds, instead of me going through and trying to find the data and do all that kind of, databasing and trying to find it through a financial application that sometimes making reports take forever. And then you never get exactly what you're looking for unless you're really good at like QuickBooks and you really understand it, how to go and create all the special reports. By the time you go and create that special report to get it, I can actually have it done here in about 10 seconds. And I can actually then go and start going, how do I fix it? how would I go about maybe upping those sales? Maybe I need to do a retargeting campaign, and I need to know which SKUs I should be using to be retargeting to get those sales back up. Guys, the way that you use vision is just another way. It's called a multimodal chat. And the more that you're using vision, and it will help you pull in information. Now, what's really good is like I have this information here. I can actually go to one that's a free version now that I have all this information, and I don't have to have any words coming against my word bank to create other stuff. You know, here, rewrite the above in concise form. Okay, and so now this one's going off of GPT-3.5, and look how fast it does. It doesn't have to go and reread the image because it already knows what's going on in our conversation. If you don't like that, you want to do it in 4.0, then you just switch 4.0, hit the little edit button, it reloads everything back down here for your prompt, and away you go. So it's very simple to how you get all this information, and this all started with an image inside of Vision. All right, so that really gives you a lot of the key pieces inside. Obviously, prompts. You can write your own prompts. You can keep those prompts available to you, and you can come back and reference them anytime you wish. I love one that's called persona analysis. So if I was running something with a persona on it, what this does is it just allows us to clarify the persona and where it's being used inside the text. So here, let me see if I can find a way to do that here. Okay, so I go back to let's go back here to the agreement. So we're talking about Chris, right? And we used Chris, and Chris was actually being written in this thing with the persona. So if I go to my prompt and I actually use this persona analysis, I'm just saying, hey, based on the previous response, clarify where the persona is being directly addressed to get the most engagement and conversions. Okay, so now it's going to be dropping this in now. Chris is, so it's look, it's pulling in. Imagine a home, a property that's not just a business investment. Okay, wait, let's get this persona in here. Let's load this up real quick, and we'll do one more. Okay, so now I have the persona. Let me run this with the persona. Okay, so now I've got this rewritten. I'm using the persona inside it. Now I'm going to have it identify the persona that's sitting there. I don't like the way that output comes from 4.0. And this is a great thing. This is a great example of why some things will do good things and some things will give you a completely different understanding. So now I'm going to rewrite this again, now coming back through on Gemini Pro. And you see how it's different in how it addresses it, by the way. It kind of puts it down in thing. Now look at the explanation of changes here. So a direct address. Using Chris at the beginning, sprinkled through the pitch, creates a more personal connection, making the message feel like a conversation. Highlighting key values. The revised pitch emphasizes the value, family values, community warmth. This is what this was all about, right? So when we looked up at the persona for the Oakwood home owner, this is what was on their pain points. This is the things that we were trying to address. Just like you were hoping for. Those family gatherings you love so much. The heart of your family story. Evoke warmth, connection. Guys, these are the words that were addressing the motivations and pain points into this. And you can go and find this by a simple prompt. Hey, where is the persona really clicking in, and where is it really like hitting deep into that engagement? This is a simple little prompt. I mean, I'll put it up here. You guys can read it again. It's based here. I'll do this even easier. This is the prompt. I just pushed it into the chat. That's all it is. And you can save that prompt, and you can always come back to say, am I really getting content that's driving with the main motivations and pain points of the persona? Just use it, save it as a prompt, and you can come back in and use it, and you'll find that it's great. And if you're not getting the best response the first time, look to another model. You saw how much better of a reaction I got out of Gemini Pro than I did out of 4 Omni. And it's just depending upon which ones that you're using that you're going to be getting those kind of responses back with. So understand, IntelliChat is so powerful. There's not one thing that you can't do and create and get insight on or figure out something. Even writing code. I mean, like, we can write code all day long in here by just asking it questions. In fact, it's kind of funny the other day because we're using Ruby to write Ruby, right? It's kind of a crazy thing if you think about it. And yet, it's not just AI. They don't just put the code in and all of a sudden, boom, it's done. Obviously, we just eliminate a lot of maybe junior dev work or the upfront work, and then we start to do a lot of debugging and a lot of Q&A and stuff that we're thinking about. We can do inside of Ruby quicker and more efficiently and more accurately than with a human. So IntelliChat is just super powerful. I guess that was the main things that I wanted to get across today. All right. So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to just show what can happen with Ruby music and just get some accolades out. And Cindy Marshall, I know that this is exciting. I mean, this is your Spotify page and you put in Burning Bridges. And it's actually one of the songs I wanted to play today, but we couldn't get it to play when I was playing. That's why it was quiet. So I'm actually going to try to play it here. And well, you guys know this incredible stuff that's happening with Ruby music, and we're super excited. So we're going to talk a little bit about the way that we're going to make it easier for us to do this and get this spread out, number one, into the social media markets for you, but then also the way that we can get this to be part of adding it into our contests and everything else that we're doing. So we're super excited about announcing a way that we're bringing it to video. And so if you can think of the fact that we have the music, we have the lyrics, we have the great little images that are created for your music. We have everything here to go ahead and create a piece of music, video for you. And you can choose to download either a video or to download a MP3 file, or you can download both. And it would be just in the little 3 buttons that you're used to seeing, where you download the MP3, you'll just have a download video option now. And so we're working on that. That'll be something I really think at the end of this week, we're going to have that pushed out. And it will be also marked with Ruby music so that you're actually promoting it as you're going out there to the market with it. So super exciting things that we're going to be able to do to help you guys get these out to the marketplace. All right.